for you. 7 maps again in our pool. Oregon has been brought on in instead of border that we used to have in the past. And whoa, actually, we are going to play on Oregon as our decider. So I'm pretty excited for it. We've seen Oregon in NA League, we've seen in EU League, and of course, we're going to see it today in APAC North. So Oregon, Des, I know you've been kind of dreaming about the map, falling asleep to it. Do you have like, I know you're into anime and stuff, but do you have like a body pillow with Oregon on it with like big tower on it that you just fall asleep next to?
I just actually got like a life-size replica of the actual tower outside my house, mate. You should come and see it now. My eyebrows are like caterpillars then, like, ooh, hello, it's going on. It's coming down to Oregon. I am really excited to see how different regions are tackling this one. We've now seen it across all 3, or will have when this is concluded. We saw a lot of variety coming out of the EU teams yesterday between Secret and Na'Vi. I'm expecting to see even more of that coming today out of APAC, and I'm looking for some new ideas, guys, so don't let me down.
Yeah,
Jess,
I agree with Des. I mean, my big bro, he always knows everything about Oregon, right? He's going to be the Oregon guy for like the rest of this stage at the very least, you know, and that annoys me ever so much. I'm going to be the devil's advocate here, and I'm going to say we've seen a bunch of stuff on Oregon so far, but I'm telling you, APAC North is going to bring a new type of meta to Oregon. It's an unknown quantity for these teams. Maybe they've scrimmed it. I don't care if they've scrimmed it. This is where the real deal happens, ladies and gentlemen, and if this is where the real deal happens, well, they better bring everything they've got, because Oregon, it's a scary map.
Okay, let me talk about it for a second. Kali was played pretty much all the time on Oregon and EU League.
Do you know why they had to play that? That's because Maverick and Thatcher ban. It comes down to the bans at the end of the day.
So let's talk about that. Do you expect to see that? At this point, Thatcher ban is kind of a no-brainer, I guess, right? Do people go with it constantly? That's an even better.
I don't know. I think we'll see Maverick Thatcher here. I think you'll probably see something else get banned away. If we do see it, I'll be pleasantly surprised. It just means that Kali is only all the more powerful. 1, she's useful for a gadget, and 2, this map, as I've always kept on harking on about, has got a lot of long angles that can divide floors in half and all sorts. So she's going to be very powerful if those 2 bans do come through.
All right, I'm excited to see what goes through it, though that's up to the game and our casters to figure things out. So let's get into it. Nora-Rengo, now playing against QConfirm. All yours.
Thank you very much, Milosh. Let's jump into it. Gio! Now we actually get to cast Oregon where we're meant to be casting, and I don't just steal Dez's cast.
I know that you're really excited about this, because as soon as we got put in Oregon yesterday for Na'Vi Secret, you were like, oh, I wanted to cast that game, and now you have it. It's your wish has come true. I know I'm not wrong. I rarely am. No, yeah, no, go on.
I was going to say, QConfirm versus Nora-Rengo, 2 old guard teams here, 1 to represent Thailand, 1 to represent Japan. Maybe QConfirm can get some vengeance for the match we just had where Guts beat Xavier. But we'll see. It's Nora versus QConfirm on the brand new Oregon.
It's going to be pretty exciting to see. One thing I find really interesting about these 2 teams is in Pro League this year, neither of them have a single map that they have lost more than they won. So whoever loses this game, this is the first map of 2020 that they will have lost more times than they won. Now, obviously, it's still really early in the life cycle, but there we go. They said it in the analyst desk. Thatcher, kind of a no-brainer that he's going to be going out first.
This does put the onus on Nora-Rengo, though. You're going to leave that Maverick in, or are you going to get rid of it? Let's see. Maverick.
He's gone.
This is the new meta. I love it. I love how the meta was Thatcher bans, and now the meta is like, Thatcher bans aren't cool enough. We do Thatcher and Maverick bans. And the way I perceive this, right, is people do bans that they think are going to throw off the enemy team, but they're going to be okay at dealing with it. So in the past, it was, we're going to ban Thatcher, and then we're going to have to use like grenades or whatever, or we'll use Maverick. And now people are good at Maverick. It's like, let's ban Thatcher and Maverick, and then we're going to use Kali, or like, it's just going to be really, really painful for the attack. Who knows?
It's like we're going to end up looping all the way back round where we actually see Mirror and Echo be played all the time because people have like continuously added more and more. And actually see that Mirror is going to be available for this because Pulse is going to be the final operator being banned. And that's kind of, it's an interesting one, but when you think about those sites being played up on the top floor, for example, you can have the Pulse situated in something like security and be able to get a lot of that information, things like that. That's going to be kind of interesting to see how that plays out. But I mentioned how Mirror is available, and straight away, she has been picked to go. But, well, no, she's not. That was a lie.
It'll be a 6-pick, I'm telling you right now. Lycolis going to 6-pick to it. Surely.
See,
don't let me down, Lycolis. I'm rooting for you right here. Don't let me down. Come on. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. She's
Dev
back.
knows these things. Dev knows these
back.
things. You can't let Mira slide here on, I mean, when it gets to the ban phase, you really got to be thinking, okay, Thatcher's banned. That means that the primary, the counter to Mira is Hibana. You Hibana on the block Mira and you detonate it. But if you chuck a mute jammer behind it or what have you, then it's you can't do that anymore. So that counter is then countered conversely. So I'm hoping that we'll see Lycolis with some pretty creative spots for these mirror windows. Looks like potentially one looking from meeting near the entryway into kitchen, but of course that is vulnerable to any kind of lobby push. So Hajime should hope that his castle barricade on the meeting double door into split does hold true. Otherwise, that'll expose that position. I'm actually super excited right now, Gio. This is just going to be an hour-long learning experience and a what's the word? A masterclass on how to play Origin.
You know what? It really is, and given what we've seen so far today, so many of these games going really down to the wire, getting the well, you can't have draws in APAC, but we've had some overtime games, we've had games go backwards and forwards. Are we expecting this one to do the same thing, James? Like, are we going to be going all the way to like round number 14 or something, or is this because you know they spoke about it at the beginning, but these two teams come from different regions. QConfirm, they've got quite a pedigree. Nora-Rengo, famous for having kind of made quite a stir last year, but haven't necessarily been so good this year. So I don't know, do we think that it can go all the way that tight, or is this going to be a little bit more of a stomp?
Last time, I feel like it's going to be close. Last time these guys played each other was way back in Pro League Season 9. Because remember, these guys don't usually play each other. This is a Japanese team and a Thailand team. Like, these don't usually play each other in the online season. APAC North is the first time that the different subregions of APAC are playing each other in the online season. So previously, these guys played each other at LAN at the Season 9 APAC Pro League Finals. And that was at Nora-Rengo at the height of their strength. And they took it over QConfirm, who were at the time Xavier, 2-0. So, and funnily enough, they actually played Oregon. They played the old Oregon. And Nora-Rengo won 7-3. So, bit of a throwback there. I know that was quite some time ago. That was way back in April 2019. So
this was before my time, man. You know, this is the thing.
Born.
Yeah, exactly. I'm really, really young. No, you know, this is the thing with Oregon is this is my second time casting Oregon in these new leagues, and I'm the one who wasn't really around when it was the original Oregon was in the map pool. So this is a big learning experience for me, just as much as it is for these teams. Nora-Rengo, they're taking their time. They're not, you know, rushing into anything. We saw QConfirm kind of set up a lot of holes there in their defense so that they could get some of those potentially early shots, early lines of sight. It didn't end up amounting to anything, but the point was it did kind of have that necessary effect of slowing things down slightly. We finally have the Kali entering on into Armory. What's she gonna be looking out for? Well, we're taking a look at her. Oh, there we go. There she is. She's back. I was like, okay, bye.
I just want to say, it's Kali being played by Mirio, who's historically one of the best fraggers in APAC. And, well, I mean, he's used to playing your Ashen, that kind of operator. Very, very different. But, hey, if you've got good aim, then you can use a sniper, I should hope. So I'm keen to see how Mirio fares with that one. But I did want to mention that, you know, this is very much uncharted territory in terms of Oregon for both of these teams. There were no VODs of either team. So this is all going to be countering mid-game, no counter-stratting going into it. Yashingo to find the opening pick and go straight into the bomb site. That's meeting Soulboy as well to take out Lycolis. Yashingo's going deep, though. Not going to rest, and that plant's starting to go down. Mirio to find one with the SMG. Healthcare and Producer Boom get back into it. Yashingo getting that plant down now, but Producer Boom has the flank upstairs. Papilia to shut that down. Healthcare, smidge of HP, and he can't even win that first gunfight. Nora-Rengo go full send, take the bomb site right on away from QC.
Now, once they got in those early picks, they were able to kind of just push their way in. They got that meeting control, and you said they're going straight on into the site, but there wasn't all that much to stop them. They, you know, QConfirm were left with their two kind of star players, if you will, but they were really overwhelmed at that point. They had very low HP, the very least that we Producer Boom did. And it's very, very hard to hold your own in that regard after that, especially when you haven't been able to make the required trades that happen when you do have those early picks come out. So that's definitely a good start there for Nora-Rengo, especially as we're sort of looking for them to have a bit of a redemption arc of sorts, I think is fair to say, given their history and given that, you know, when you look at the Japanese region, it's really beautiful names like Cyclops and like Fab Gaming that have been stealing the show of late, and not so much Nora-Rengo. So a good start for them, still very early, but definitely nothing to be concerned about.
You know, Nora-Rengo have been a bit of a rut. You know, last season in the Pro League, they had 7 draws. Can you imagine that? Like,
what's a draw? APAC doesn't. Who is she? Hoopst? APAC doesn't know who that is anymore.
Yeah, thankfully. I mean, I know that these... I guess that's one thing for Nora, right? You know, they're going to win this game or they're going to lose this game. No in between. I'm sure that they're happy about that at least.
The nightmares will end.
Goodness. That's it. So...
No. I mean, I think that's really interesting, you know, especially as you say, they have these players like Mary who's just so strong, and so if they can take advantage of those skills that they have, but they are going up against, I think Derry kind of mentioned it at the start, where you have Healthcare and Producer Boom at plus 50 and plus 40 KD. Last season, it's like Nora-Rengo, they're going to be like, all right, time to get a win. We're ending the draw streak, but oh no, we've got to go up against basically human turrets.
Oh, I love that. The Wamai magnets to chew up all of those stun grenades. I guess that's what the stuns are for, right? Clear out any ADSs or magnets. Now, something we didn't really touch on, but Oregon being such a new map, a lot of people probably think, well, what other bomb sites to take? Well, I think a lot of people seem to believe that this laundry supply room is probably the best bomb site, especially with that Thatcher and Maverick band, maybe the top floor. But we saw that nice little left field meeting picked out first by QConfirm just to throw off Nora. Clearly, it didn't work. So QConfirm just going to rotate straight on downstairs. And Producer Boom with the clash. Throwing a bit of a curveball Nora's way. But Nora, very experienced team. They won't be caught off guard by that.
No, it's definitely an interesting choice. I think this is the first time we've seen a clash be played on this site, but it's not as if we have really much to go on from that perspective. But it does mean that they're obviously going to have to pay a little bit more attention to that. And this basement floor is one it's quite... I don't know, Derry likes to use the word checklisty to describe a number of things in this game, but I think it's sort of the same because there are those certain walls that you have to get open, the ones of bunker, you have to be able to enter into those rooms, you've got to be concerned about freezer. There's a lot of different things that you have to concern yourself with when you're thinking of how to attack laundry supply in a systematic way. And when you have to worry about the clash at the same time, because she's going to provide a nuisance once you begin to make your attack, that's just one more thing that is added to that checklist. And it's one more thing that if you trip up on that point, well, time is going to run out and you're going to lose. Ooh, goodbye, Xcaris.
Claw there from Funlex does trick that hatch. So, nice job. Some of the hard breach removed and taking out the drone as well, ready to engage this gunfight. Gonna take it from the advantageous angle over the locker. Nora-Rengo really split up now, pushing from all sides. QConfirm will have to watch their backs every which way to ensure that this doesn't go against them. But time slipping away, 5 on 5, just 40 seconds left. And there's the opening pick for Hajime. Yashingo, the one to shut it down last time, he's shut down himself. Evil Eye to tag up Soulboy, gives some good information too, but Simatuki to push on nicely through Freezer. Now Healthcare has to be cautious, get off the Evil Eye and hold down, left click onto the head. That's Simatuki off the board. Another one peeks out, but it's not the play. QC, it's Hajime to find another 2. Soulboy gets that trade, and now all on Producer Boom, the clash versus Soulboy, but 12 seconds left. Soulboy grabs that diffuser. Can he plant it down?
Well, let's see. It's looking like he's pretty safe for now. The Clash is going to have to push up if she wants to do anything about it for now. But I suspect she is going to be going in for that retake. But the question is she in a position where she's going to be able to take it? Soulboy, he's just waiting. He knows that she has to come through this door. Oh no, he's going to turn around and decide to go the different way. So she can see that diffuser. But she knows he's going to be waiting just around the corner. And it's just a game of cat and mouse at this point. Who is going to win? Taking out the free fire, but doesn't find anything. They're just playing Ring Around the Rosie at some point. And here's the thing, if Producer Boom goes for it, then this is Soulboy's opportunity to just rush around the corner and take that shot. That's exactly what he's going to do. And Nora-Rengo will take the second round, feeling very good about them. But I guess that's the risk when you bring a clash. If she's the last one left, you can't quite be as aggressive as you would maybe with a different operator.
Can I just say, imagine if the Clash had done that disable while facing the wall and the shield was on the back. I have a feeling that maybe that would have worked. Like maybe that would have been
so
a clutch.
Cheesy. That would be cheesy. You just kind of sit there
knock it.
turtling into the corner. It's like, you know, when you're a kid and you're fighting with your sibling and you just sit in the corner covered in blankets and like, no, you can't touch me. Don't come near me.
I didn't mean to bring up any harmful memories, Gia.
No, it's, you know.
We'll talk about it
We're gonna
later.
face our demons at some point.
So, jumping back upstairs now with Nora seeming to be unstoppable on these attacks. QConfirm trying to find a spot where they're comfortable, and Dorm's next on the agenda. Gotta say, Hajime was the player for QC that really made that round possible there, and eventually Soulboy to clutch that 1 versus 2. Really admirable position, admirable moment play. Yeah, QC, I mean, we're just waiting for them, right, to have some kind of more comfort here. These rounds are close, but, you know, close doesn't get you the round wins.
It's very hard to kind of judge whether it's you know, something, a statement about their overall playstyle and abilities, or whether it's about their comfort on this map. We don't know how much they've been scrimming it. We don't know what their opponents in scrims have been like, if they have been, and we don't know if a lot of them have been trying out different strategies or really solidifying where it is they feel like they do the best. So it's really hard to make a judgment as to, oh, you know, they're just failing, they're just having a really hard time, or if it's just, no, this is a new map and we need time to get used to it, and you watch us on Oregon by the time week 5 rolls around and we're going to absolutely slap. So it's interesting to see how it all kind of pans out, but either way, so far, Nora-Rengo, they've been incredibly decisive. They haven't been impatient, and I think that's a really, you know, nice thing to see, is they're not just rushing in with mindless aggression. Like, they, you know, essentially have the ability to do, they have that that skill on their side, but they're taking their time and they're ensuring that before they make any decisions, they really know what it is they want to achieve out of them. And I think that's what's getting QConfirm kind of off guard, because it means that when they start to see Nora-Rengo coming at them, they've already got the plan in mind.
Now on this top floor, Nora-Rengo to push through Attic, but of course that is a long choke point. And Producer Boom did set up that deployable shield to watch for this kind of push, this direction. Sabatuki droning ahead. Surely Nora-Rengo have a second direction to push from here, because all funneling up through Attic surely isn't the play, but Simatuki takes the initiative, makes an entry here. Dangerous. Got to be cautious of this crossfire. Checking hard right, just playing patient at the moment. He knows he doesn't have to over-aggress, and it's like you said, Nora-Rengo taking their time if they need it, not getting too over-aggressive. Soulboy likely to clear some utility through the floor,
There we
but
go.
he gets more than he bargained for. That's fun, Lex. See ya later, mate.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, I was thinking, you said, don't know if they're going to be coming in from different directions. No one overthrew in the master area, but no, instead he's deciding to go downstairs and play around with those frag grenades that everyone loves to see. We've seen a lot of projectiles in the last couple of days, and it's been so exciting to see the efficacy of them. You can get one of those key picks, like onto Funlex. We spoke about how he's the newest member of this team, but Simotuki's going to be going down as well to join him. That's another great shot there from Hajime. Out comes those smokes. Mario's going to be joining them in the grave as well. This could start being the round where QConfirm start to pick things up. With that 2K there, Producer Boom's going to be joining in with the fun, and that leaves just Papalik on his own. Just this lowly Zafir doesn't have the diffuser, so is going to have to look for kills for now, but just 13 seconds left to go. Not so much hope on the side there, and QConfirm finally get their names on the board.
Well, they're back in the game after all with that one. And, I mean, I honestly thought that Nora were actually in a pretty decent spot. They got their opening pick, Soulboy. Nice little grenade up through the floor. That also cleared out the utility on that generator wall. It's not actually generator anymore. What's it called? It's like, not trophy. Games, that's it, games. Like games room
the
wall.
little room.
Yeah, yeah. In the old Oregon, it was called generator, so I still kind of get thrown off a little bit.
That's what it was called back when, like, I was around. So, like, you know, I don't mean to, like, brag about the fact that I know the old cool outs, but that's what it was called.
All right, all right.
You know.
You called me a boomer the other day, didn't you?
You're younger than me. I didn't call you a boomer.
Yes, you did.
It was one of the other. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Right,
it must have been someone else. It may have been Milosh.
Later on, I'm gonna go and clip the evidence. I'll find it and I'll wave it in your face.
I don't think it was me. If it was, then I've completely forgotten. But I don't
Look,
think it
we'll
was
let the
me. You're
jury
younger
decide.
than me, so you're Gen Z.
I'll
We're
see
not
you
even
in
the same
court,
generation,
Gio.
mate.
That's all I'm saying. See you in court.
All right, you can come to Europe first. Feel free.
All right, I'm on my way. I'm getting there, but you know, got to stop by APAC first. It's on the way after all. Nora-Rengo and QConfirm. Thailand and Japan, both halfway between, hey? So,
Exactly.
going back downstairs. Remember that Nora-Rengo only won this in a 1v1 clutch that was very close. Hajime was the player to watch for QConfirm. Ooh, just missing that drone. Unfortunate for Funlex. Does he have the Rio left? He does have a reinforcement in the pocket to do that hatch, but doesn't want to get sprayed through the wall, especially since he was spotted out. So thinks it's probably safer to just back off. For now, though, we focus over on Hajime and Lycolis towards Blue Bunker. Really nice reinforced area with the ADSs, some barbed wire, no doubt some magnets. Papilia getting nice on an aggressive with a live drone here. Might catch someone off. Surely not. If Papilia can get a pick here onto the player, the Jaeger that is, like Colas playing in the corner, that could be so pivotal.
No, he's definitely trying to go for that peak, but so far nothing. It's kind of interesting here actually to see the difference in the setup between what we saw yesterday, where we saw a lot of those lines of sight being open to look into bunker, whereas here they're focusing more on the staircase. Like Willis looking at his drone for now. Doesn't want to get caught out too quickly. And we saw Doki playing on the Jaeger yesterday when Na'Vi were playing this map as well around this similar area. So it just depends on whether or not he's going to be overwhelmed. Meryu, hanging around upstairs, wants to get that hatch open. Of course, that's why you bring the Kali so that she can kind of replace the Thatcher. Once that's done, they should be able to get rid of the electrification on the room below and start to open that up.
Nice use of the Kali there. Took a while for her to come into meta, but I'm loving it now that we're seeing it quite a bit. And now, it's Yoshingo trying to push up. Of course, Mario very cautious of that area. In blue, like Colas to find the opening. As Papilia goes down, Hajime takes a bullet to the foot. What's that? Was that an Evil Eye? I didn't quite see. I think that must have been, yeah, indeed like it was. Thank you, medics, for catching that one. Unfortunately, I didn't at the time, but Healthcare with the Evil Eye is going to get both exothermic charges somehow. And in the meanwhile, Producer is going to get aggressive and take out Lycolis himself. Good for another one. Flawless round for Xavier. Put it in the bag. Take it to the bank. There you go.
That was an ouch at the end there, especially when we saw the Kali come through being like, all right, guys, I'm gonna try and do something. No, gun down straight away. And I find it funny how one of the first things you pointed out was, you know, the Zephyr versus the Jaeger around pillars and on the staircase. And well, it was the Jaeger who ended up winning that out. Obviously, ended up getting the opening pick. And it really enabled the rest of the momentum of the round to go in their favor. And just really being unable to get those breaches, having both of your exothermic charges gone to an Evil Eye. I mean, you would assume that after the first Evil Eye, they would have turned around and at least, I don't know, tried to do something, but he just tried again, like straight away, which is a little bit of a question mark for me, I have to say. I feel like if Nora-Rengo had been a little bit more vigilant in that situation, maybe they would have been able to deal with it a little bit better. But either way, it means that QConfirm were able to match up the scorelines for now. We're on a 2-2. That's a matching scoreline that I see. I'm starting to get reminiscent of our previous games where everything has been very, very close. As you said, James, that's how you expected things to go. But we are heading back to meeting. This is where we went on the first site, and Nora-Rengo, they kind of made it look a little bit easy when they were defending.
10 seconds left before
Or attacking, I should say.
Yeah, Nora got pretty aggressive last time around. I think it was just a nice simple thermite charge on the wall that stayed from Big Tower, and Yoshingo got one pick into meeting and then just full sense. So clearly Nora-Rengo had tons of info on the site, and QC just didn't quite anchor as well. And funnily enough, the 2 rounds that QC have won has primarily been of the anchor game and catching Nora off guard with some aggressive peaks from their anchors. In that last round, for example, when Lycolis peeked out into blue, hugely impactful, and Prior as well when holding Dorm. So I'm going to keep my eye on a lot of the anchors from QConfirm, and perhaps if they elect to force a more roam-centric strategy, I don't think it'll be as successful.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be something worth looking out for. They've obviously opted to bring the Mirror again. Spoke about how much value she can add. And as you say, this is the player who you want to be looking out for. He added so much value in the in that last round. And if they can continue to apply that pressure onto Nora-Rengo as they head on into the site, which of course you can do with those mirror windows, then that can make things particularly difficult, especially as they are all kind of coming in from Big Tower, and they're all very situated on that end of the map. Well, if you can use those mirror windows to your advantage and force them back, well, at the very least, you're going to waste time. Well, that's the first pick coming out from Soulboy.
Yeah, I just want to say Soulboy has actually been one of my top-rated players at the moment. He's the second newest addition to join Nora-Rengo, and if you look at the scoreboard, he's been taking the majority of the fun as well, the kills. Oh, there's a nice proximity alarm to detect Meryu as he jumps in there. The healthcare taken off guard as well. That's one of the 3 speeds, one of those core roamers. I mentioned that I'm a bit skeptical as to the roam game from QConfirm. Nora-Rengo seem to be pretty good at droning out and finding players, but it's when QConfirm can hold nice crossfires on the bomb site, when they distract Nora-Rengo with good setups, whether it's Evil Eyes, what have you, that's when they're getting the better of Nora.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting as well to see these Oryxes come out in the last couple of days, because I don't think any of them have really been particularly effective. Not that they haven't been effective in any way, just nothing's particularly stood out. So Producer Boom can actually, get a decent amount of value after out of, playing this long flank that he's going for here on the Oryx, maybe be able to jump up and take some of the members of Nora-Rengo by surprise. That'd be pretty great. Well, the plant is going to be stopped, but Nora-Rengo getting 2 kills back in return, and that just opens up these gunfights because Producer Boom is able to get that flank around, bringing down Papila. Now, the question is, who is going to win out this next one? Simotuki is looking to get the plant, but he knows he's got to pay attention to those angles, and there's Lycolis who's going to bring him down. That's exactly what he was scared about, is a 2 versus 2. Is Lycolis going to show up? Yes, he is. Soulboy goes down as well. It's just Meryu left remaining, and this sounds very familiar. He is going to go for the plant, but he's just wide out in the open and meeting, and that means Producer Boom can finish things off, and QConfirm get the next round.
Really lovely stuff. Producer Boom, I think it was 2 kills on the round there. How I saw that go down was Nora-Rengo open up the stage wall like we talked about previously. He wanted to make a push into the bomb site, but there was one player in meeting. They did trade it out, so they lost one player, got one back, but that delay that player on the bomb site had given to the rest of the QConfirm roster enabled them to rotate and seek better positions to then expose those Nora-Rengo players, and made it very uncomfortable. We saw, particularly when we were spectating Simotuki with that diffuser in the pocket, just trying to plant but not feeling comfortable. Producer Boom on the Oryx was actually downstairs and could have elected to jump up the hatch through meeting, decided not to. It was a bit risky, but the threat was very much there, and Nora-Rengo just did not feel like they could get into their groove at all. No possibility for a plant.
I think the other interesting thing as well is that at this point, QConfirm understand that Nora-Rengo like to be quite patient in the beginnings of their attacks. And so if they can get there in time, then the chances are they're going to run into a load of them all bunched together on the side of the map where they've decided to enter in from, and where they're starting to do their droning and planning for the real push of their attack. And that's kind of exactly what happened there. Yeah, a few trades went backwards and forwards, but Producer Boom knew that at that point in the map, they were actually all going to be standing there. He knew that there was definitely going to be somebody there. And that's a very valuable thing to know, I think, because that means that Nora-Rengo either have to be, all the more diligent and understanding that if QConfirm up their aggression, then they're going to have to worry about those things early on in the round, or it's going to force them out of their comfort zone where they try to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more aggressive, and that could make them more prone to mistakes.
Now it's a Dorms hold for QConfirm again. This one was really quite dominant. Nora-Rengo pretty comfortable and successful opening up the attic wall with the thermite charge, but in fact, we even saw that opening kill. Remember the nice little nade from Soulboy through the floor to find that first kill? But yeah, despite that, Nora-Rengo getting the opening engagement, there was just no follow-through. Nora-Rengo tried their best, but they couldn't really push up super aggro up attic, and they tried to focus on, white stairs, big window, and so many impact players on site just catching them in crossfires. In particular, Lycolis was so good, popped off for like 2 or 3 kills on that previous defense. So I'm really looking at Nora now and thinking, okay, guys, didn't work last time. Can you identify what went wrong and maybe fix things a little bit? Maybe open up that wall from the master bedroom into the games room. You can expose a few more positions on site.
Yeah, I was thinking very similarly. They didn't really, do all that much to come in through that side of the map, and that also means that QConfirm, they can continue to hold a quite dominant position in the trophy area, which once you kind of enter into Master, that kind of needs to be cleared out. And if the defenders are allowed to hold on to that, that just gives them even more power when doing that. It did look like a couple of members are moving around to this side of the map, so, if they're going to go in through this bottom floor, then... okay, they're gonna kind of like have a little bit of a room clear on the bottom, something like that. And obviously, Buck will be opening up that floor. And so it's looking like they're trying to apply the pressure from a vertical perspective rather than coming directly in through the master bedroom.
Here's the engagement between Soulboy and Lycolis. Lycolis on point so far, but Papilia is there for the trade. Good start for Nora-Rengo. They've also opened up 2 key entry points onto the bomb site. Simatuki can push up Attic, as well as the rest of the player pinching from the master opening in the closet. But we do have Papilia downstairs, just looking for some kind of aggression on this breach. Meryu needs to hit some shots here with 30 seconds left. Nora-Rengo need to make this execute happen. It's a 4 versus 3, as the Funlex being down, and QConfirm feeling the pressure right now in these final moments.
Yeah, and they're still holding, pretty strong their presence here, but down goes the diffuser. Is anything going to be able to be done about it? Producer Boom is not far away. And there we go.
No.
Oh, he gets shot through the wall by Meryu. This is all looking very backwards and forwards. And once again, Meryu the last remaining, but he's gone. And that means the diffuser can be disabled here by QConfirm, but that was incredibly aggressive. That was such a big rush, and it looked like Nora-Rengo could have been able to do it. They were just surrounded by members of QConfirm, and that shot from Meryu just wasn't enough to save them.
So close for Nora to get the diffuser down, but not be able to secure the post plant. And I've got to say, sometimes I think, we might make a bit too much big of a deal out of something that wasn't impactful. But I've got to say, Nora-Rengo, they had the injure onto, I can't remember which player it was from QC. I think it was Funlex, and he was just down in the right opposite where the plant was going down, right? And the plants are probably just a bit too tunnel vision to see that player injured there. But even though that player can't move around, exactly, that's intel. It's like a free camera. That person can call, this is exactly where they're planting. And if you can, okay, there's 4 players left. We hear one coming from Attic. There's 1 planting. That means there's only 2 others. And then it came down to QConfirm to winning a couple gunfights, winning a few 1v1s. Hajime in particular, I believe it was him who peeked out to the top white stairs player. Getting that kill was so essential. And then Nora-Rengo not able to contain QConfirm on that retake. Just really great stuff from QConfirm. And after a strong start from Nora winning the first 2 attacks, QConfirm replied with 4 straight defenses.
Yeah, that's a really good position to be in, especially as yesterday we saw a lot more of strength coming from the attacks, and the players weren't necessarily as comfortable with the defenses. So it's kind of interesting to see how this is going, and obviously things might settle down, and as the teams start to learn the ropes of that, then it's gonna improve. But being able to have 4 straight defenses like that's incredibly impressive and really, really good news. But of course now they have to prove that they can hold their own on the attacks. We've spoken about it a couple of times, how we have these players like Healthcare and Producer Boom who have such great stats from the last season of Pro League that maybe if they decide to go in for this, aggressive playstyle, they'll be able to make that work. They are bringing the Ashe, of course. Now, you do bring her for the self-destruction as well, but it does enable your ability to be rather aggressive. Producer Boom is going to be situating himself on the Kali. Now, obviously, that's oh no, go on.
So I just love that little bit of parkour. Just jump on the van. And a lot of people don't know about that one, but it's a good one. I love it.
Yeah. No, I know.
Exactly. I'm sure that's exactly what Healthcare was saying as he did that.
Exactly. Yeah, but maybe the the equivalent in his language. I don't know. Maybe yeet is universal. Yeah.
I think yeet's pretty universal, to be honest.
Is it just yeet? It
probably is.
Well, regardless, straight away, seeing the charge being put down, but he's gonna be a lit. Yeah, okay, there you go. That was a very fast trick there.
Yeah, electrical to trick that one. Funlex, I think, is gonna get these pellets for free. No, there you go. Yoshingo is Yoshin
They're
God
trying to balance
with
it
the
out.
claws.
They're just trying to be like, all right, he's gonna be running between the two, so if we both go at the same time, he can't take both walls.
I mean, it might take 2x Kairos pellets and 2 exothermics, but they do get one opening, and that's a good start. Now, for Nora right now, sitting pretty on site. Oh, that might be the first pick. Indeed it is for healthcare. Papilia goes down. Really been struggling this game so far, but QC do have an opening onto the bomb site. This meeting and dining bomb site has been so prevalent. The first pick for both of these teams. But now, Yashingo sitting on the bomb site, just waiting patiently for someone to push up. It is Lycolis. Does he see the player? He does, and gets that frag onto Yashingo. Now the plant gonna go down. Can Simatuki make the difference that he needs to? All on Simatuki now as the castle. 1v4. I don't really see this one happening. It's a retake scenario. Got the UMP, 4 players to find. You know, give it your best shot. There's nothing to lose.
Yeah, it does look like it's really going to work out for him. There we go, wall bang straight through. I think one of the really cool things about how QConfirm approached that was the fact that they had a lot of their players based relatively far away, and they could take the long angles. That's why we saw the Ash playing with the G36C, right? Because then she can have the ACOG, and that amazing shot that we saw, she was outside of the window. She got the kill from relatively far away. So it meant that QConfirm could play a little bit more cautiously and not have to be up in your face aggressive and risk being caught out by Nora-Rengo, but they were able to influence them into positions where they could be caught out by those slightly longer angles. And I think that was quite smart, but then it obviously meant when you're left at the end and you're just a castle on your own and you're just kind of running around, you're probably also going to be caught out on one of those angles because you're not providing much of a threat in return.
Yeah, well, Nora-Rengo 6-pick in the mirror, something that you mentioned earlier. One of those consistent bans on the defense, but instead both these teams opting for the Valkyrie and Pulse. More mobile intel gatherers, but Mira could be super impactful here. I think there's a lot of potential for Mira on Oregon. In fact, the old Oregon and the old Border were the 2 maps where Mira kind of made her name. And the classic thing that was done in the past was a mirror window in the little closet, facing into freezer on the wall that actually a single panel's been reinforced. I wouldn't be surprised to see one there, actually, in fact, but the game's changed quite significantly since Mira was at the top of her power and since the old Oregon was in the game. So I'm keen to see. We're very much in the infancy of this Oregon rework, and teams really have so many options for mentalities and philosophies of defending the map and various bomb sites. So it feels like every time a defense comes around, we get to see a new strat. I love that.
Yeah, I think that's part of the really exciting thing, as the maps sort of get through their life cycle. You get to a point where you really know what to expect all the time, but right now it's young, it's fresh, it's new, and we're still kind of learning to see what it is we're going to be seeing. Well, there go down those mirror windows that you mentioned on those single panel walls. Let's give them some good sights there onto staircase. And going to be seeing a Finker be brought in here by QConfirm. I was looking at a different part of the screen, and I just saw the LMG get reloaded, and I was thinking, wow, I'm going to be here for like 10 seconds watching this LMG reload. That's a very fast breach there onto the wall. That's quicker probably than I expect Nora-Rengo would have liked.
Yeah, in particular because that Maverick and Thatcher ban. Unfortunately, I didn't quite see whether it was the Twitch or something else that managed to clear out the breach denial, but hey, good stuff. Another thing about the Twitch is a great counter to the mirror windows, which could be heavily impactful. Oh, there's a nice peek there. Papilia finally gets something to his name. Shuts down Hajime, no Twitch
you get killed in return.
Unfortunate there. The Finker boost goes out, the adrenal surge from Producer Boom. QConfirm, one of those teams that has always seemed to like that Finker, but can they make the most of it? Minute and a half. Nice early push here from QConfirm. Producer Boom to find that headshot onto Soulboy Lycolis as well. Full send going into that bomb site. But what control do they have? Still Mirio and Simatuki holding fast. The C4 goes out, doesn't find anything, but Papilia gets his second before being traded back. Another one there for Mirio holding fast. 2 versus 2 now. Can Healthcare find this one? It's a trade all on Simatuki, and he gets it. Holding down for Nora-Rengo. Another defense one.
Yeah, that was a much stronger defense there for Nora-Rengo. It's really what they were looking for, and it kind of, I almost want to hark back to what we were saying at the beginning. We kind of joked about it, how you get these more meta bans, and nowadays we're saying, okay, Maverick and Thatcher, and that means that other operators that were previously the meta bans get forced out of those positions. And that's why we find Mirror in play. And that's why you get defenses like that, where you just have so much control, where you don't have to put yourself in a more aggressive and more risky position. And it forces the attackers to move in a bit more, and they have to be more proactive and more in your face about how they go about it. And it puts them in that position of threat that you can take advantage of. And that's exactly what we saw Nora-Rengo do in that round. Now, obviously, not going to be bringing that this time, but they are going to be bringing the Goyo, which is something that we did see before. Obviously, it provides a bit more of a hindrance in pushing forward. Sometimes you see the Goyo shields be placed in the attic because it's that push that you can go through. It gives the defenders time to resituate themselves when they have to make those rotations. And sometimes you see them be put in the dorm itself, or in kids, because you know, it's a lot harder once it's actually on the site. So there we go. There's one of them being placed just there on the corner in dorms. I'm interested to see the second one's in kids. Oh yeah, I see it.
And also another deployable shield from the Wamai in attic. So Nora-Rengo aren't relying on just this breach now, also relying on having good anchor positions behind those shields as well, which is nice. And the magnets and ADSs to cover. In fact, quite a lot of utility. Oh my goodness, 3 ADSs and 2 magnets, all to help Papilia hold top big tower. Wow, this is an old school hold right here, but Hajime says, I don't care about old school. I'm going to take off Soulboy's head. We're going to get that nice quick pick, and we're going to get back straight on out again.
Yeah, that was really nice and clean, and that means that, you know, that roam that you look for from the Mozzie isn't going to be there. The Pest was able to get their drone, though, so that's a bit of a loss there for QConfirm. They are going to be losing out on some of that intel that they want to be relying on. But nonetheless, life goes on, and they have to continue at the very least. There are still 5 of them standing, and that's not something that Nora-Rengo can say right now. I'm interested to see if this angle is actually going to be able to be taken. Pilia, you said, standing at the top here. Like Colors, he was on the rappel. He's actually dipped back down now. That's not going to be able to be taken. It's going to be interesting because if he took the move and all of that utility sort of goes to waste because he wasn't challenged, that could be something that could have been used later on in the round. Meryu gets a kill for himself onto Hajime, so now these man counts are evened out.
QConfirm, what is the play here? Trying to pressure on to big tower, but Pilia still holding fast, standing on the beam. QConfirm had that early man advantage, but now things aren't looking so great for them. Producer Boom also taking so low HP, and now it appears that Funlex is opening up that master closet into games. It's an avenue onto the bomb site to utilize, but not many crossfires to establish as of yet. QConfirm have a decent amount of time to make this work, but running out of drones now. Lycolis is all out. Funlex only has the 1 remaining, as does Healthcare.
Well, there go the pings. Lycolis is just waiting for the moment, hoping someone is going to walk into his line of sight. Well, there go trades as well. Boom does get a kill for himself, taken down very quickly as well. 3 members of Cloud9 against 3 members of QConfirm, but as I say that, they're each going to be losing a member of their team. Lycolis and Healthcare looking better as far as HP goes. They just have to not get caught in these lines of sight, as Papilia does catch one of them just walking through, not quite able to get that kill though. Oh, he changed the direction of focus right as that peek came out from Healthcare. Question is Healthcare going to be able to turn around in time? Well, Lycolis certainly isn't, as he goes down, but Healthcare does get a kill. It's not enough. He gets traded out. Nora-Rengo, they do take that round for themselves, and so far on the defense, things not looking too shabby.
A lot of these have been close, though, and I'm glad that Papilia's finally woken up and really stepped into those big boy shoes that we know him for. Great player, joining Nora-Rengo quite some time ago, but that's 2 1v1s in a row. Papilia to win that one, and previously it was Simatuki to win the 1v1 on Laundry Supply, where Xavier had almost stolen a round away from Nora-Rengo. And I want to point out that Simatuki only joined Nora-Rengo 1 month ago. Literally 1 month ago today, Simatuki joined this team officially.
What's
and
his
since
anniversary?
then, it's pretty impressive to see how Nora-Rengo are dealing with this roster changing and coming back on the back of it, and really taking a serious fight here to QC. Even though QC is in the slight advantage here.
Yeah, I think it's funny you mentioned he's only been on the roster for the last month. He played in the Japan Nationals with them, and that is the last thing, or the only thing that he's played with them so far until this point. But Nora-Rengo is kind of like that team in APAC where, you know, in a lot of regions, you just have that team where there's so many alumni who go on to do great things with other teams. That's sort of Nora-Rengo. They're like the breeding grounds of great Japanese players. And in fact, actually, Hedy, who used to be on C9 in Korea, also came from Nora-Rengo. So it's kind of nice to see them bring in new players because you know that they're going to be developed something really fantastic. Obviously, they're proving that they can hold their own. You know, the fact is, QConfirm, they played in Pro League, in FBA, and as you heard earlier on the analyst test, they won all but one of their games. Nora-Rengo, we talk about the fact that they've been slipping, and they're only one map behind in this game so far. So it's not as if they're doing absolutely terribly. They're showing that they still have some fight to them. They've got to be sure that they can hold it up as we head into this particular attack coming out from QConfirm. Just keeping an eye on the Kaid here. But the question is, are Nora-Rengo going to be able to do it again?
Well, remember that last round where Yoshingo managed to trick, what was it, 2x Kairos and 1 Thermite charge? But by the end of it, I guess it didn't really matter for QConfirm. Had a nice entry. Yoshingo going to chuck down some wire. He does have the Electroclaw in the pocket still, and Meryu is assisting with this wall denial, remembering that Thatcher and Maverick are banned. This wall denial really has a field day with fewer counters from the attack. Here you go, Lycolas to find that entry on the back of the Adrenal Surge from Producer Boom's Finker. Nice first pick there.
That's a not a great start there for Nora-Rengo. Of course, you bring the Bandit and the Kaid so that they didn't have the same thing that happened before in round 7. But if your Bandit is going to be killed off as the first pick, then you're not going to be able to continue those tricks. Funlex is going to be going down there. Actually, a 2K here for the side of Nora-Rengo. It's like Lycolas will be joining him as well. This is a great place for Nora-Rengo to be as they have this man advantage. If they can prevent a push in, especially as both the Heart Breaches are down, and as far as I'm aware, weren't able to breach open the wall before this happened, it's going to be significantly harder for QConfirm to be able to have a good push. There's the angle being taken. Is it good enough? Yes. Producer Boom gets a kill for himself on the Finker. And now things are evened out a little bit more. But with less than a minute to go, they still have to get right.
Oh no, that's such a detrimental grenade. The team kill there leaves it all on Hajime. Yoshingo found one, and there's another one for him. How is he going to finish this one? Nice little one-tap there. The teammate tried to steal it with an impact grenade. That's, I don't know who it was playing Legion there, but that's pretty cheeky.
Such BM. But I think that was actually a really entertaining round, I have to say, because I like the fact that Nora-Rengo, they brought this extra reinforcement in the form of the Bandit so that they could adapt based on what went wrong last time. That went wrong from the get-go because the Bandit wasn't available to them anymore. But because they were able to target those early kills onto the 2 hard breaches of QConfirm, it meant that even if QConfirm were able to deal with those walls, there wasn't really all that much they could do, and that really stunted the aggression and the push that they were able to do, and it made them significantly more limited, and Nora-Rengo were able to capitalize upon that. And I think that that's really exciting to see because it shows an ability to kind of think slightly outside the box and think, okay, things didn't go to plan how we want, but we can still turn this in our favor. Even though the very thing that we brought along to make this work in our favor was taken away from us very early.
What I will say, though, for Meryu, who is playing the Bandit, yeah, he was fragged out nice on an early, but his Bandit batteries pervaded through the entire round. So they were there, and they were never removed from QConfirm, and they were never able to breach either of the walls that the Bandit batteries were on. So that adaptation from Nora-Rengo worked out perfectly to counter QConfirm's previous take, in which they had successfully breached the walls from lobby into meeting. And I think that those reinforcements staying intact and the lack of breach from QConfirm forced the attackers to funnel through that split room where Yoshingo is ready and waiting. I mean, on top of that, like, it doesn't help when you have a team kill with a grenade, right? But
yeah,
you know,
I mean, that's
between
true.
Producer Boom and his teammates.
So, sometimes, you know, if that happens on your side, can be really annoying, but you just kind of got to be like, okay, at the very least, regardless of what happens, I can take away the fact that it was our fault and not because they were better than us in that instance. But I suppose
you know what
when
to
it
not
comes,
do next time, right?
yeah, you know, adaptation
Don't
for
kill
next
your
round.
teammate.
Don't kill my teammate. Yeah, exactly. But you know, when it comes to those global rankings points, you're still gonna be a little bit annoyed when it gets this close to the wire on a 5-5 right now. It's not as if QConfirm really had a round to waste.
Lycolis, I think, got off that just in time so that he didn't lose the exothermic. Still got 2 in the bag.
Yes.
But
Attackers have located
QConfirm
a
will
bomb.
have to destroy that Electroclaw in order to breach that wall now.
Bomb located by attackers.
Well, it's very close though. They've really had a couple of kind of near misses with this tricking. But as you say, it's you know, it sorted itself out. Dealing with that meeting hatch is going to be difficult, given that they haven't opted to bring the Kali this time. That's why we're seeing healthcare start to run down. So if we can get some other angles. He's using his drone to try and see what he can see as far as, you know, where the electric core is and stuff like that. Because that's kind of what you have to rely on, right?
Yeah, very much so. I think that with Thatcher and Maverick Band, the Hubry Snarl is the name of the game, and QConfirm are being very stubborn. They're refusing to bring the Kali. Nora-Rengo had that in their arsenal, and it worked quite well, even if Papilia didn't pop off on it. Papilia is popping off right now. Helped out, taking down Hajime, the flank up through Freezer, and now QConfirm fighting from behind. They can't breach any of those core walls because they can't remove the utility, preventing them from breaching it. They are losing players by the minute as well. Producer Boom going hunting though for this Roma. And he'll catch Papilia off guard. There's one gonna go in the boost on the back of that and looking to go down the freezer stairs.
Oh, trying to keep himself safe so that he can finish off his loop around. We have Yoshingo at the end of the freezer there. He's nearly going to get stunned, but it doesn't work as he managed to turn around in time. But potentially that information is going to be fed on over to Producer Boom. Trying to be very careful so he can get that kill. That's exactly what he's able to achieve. And now that freezer control is taken by QConfirm. That is a great opportunity for them to move in. Soulboy does get a kill for himself, but all in all, it's going to QConfirm. The kill filling up with orange, and QConfirm do indeed take that round. And I would say that that makes up the mistakes that were made in the previous.
This is the thing I love about QConfirm. You can sit here and be like, oh, you know, they don't know what to do. They don't bring a Kali. They have no strategic counter to this. And then they just say, oh, this rule book that you're imposing on me, I'm going to set that alight. I'm going to chuck it out the window. I'm going to play some thinker. I'm going to brute force things that you think I can't brute force. And I'm going to make the best out of it. And that's the reason why I love QConfirm. They're sitting on match point against Nora-Rengo, and they're playing their own game. They're not going to bring the Kali. They're not going to worry about breaching blue. They're not going to worry about taking things the way that most teams would. They're going to sit there and they're going to do what they know is best. And right now they're bringing out their trap card. 6 pick from Hajime onto the Montagne.
I love it. It's so cheesy, but you know, James, you and I, we've enjoyed watching APAC before we ended up here on APAC Week. I would say we both know that this is kind of, it's that APAC cheese, right? APAC really love Monty Finger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think APAC and Latin America, those teams that are like, hey, why not? Like, we can make it
Why
work.
not,
Like,
right?
we win rounds when we do this, so let's do this and we're going to win rounds, you know?
It is, you know, really funny to see, but the kind of cool thing about it is sometimes you watch it on certain maps and you're thinking, why you do it? Like, I remember I've seen Cloud9 do it on Coastline a number of times, and you just sit there thinking, what is this? But with Oregon, right, this new Oregon, it's still unprecedented. So it's sort of like, okay, you know, I'll give you the time of day to, I'm willing to see what it is that you're going to bring and what it is you're going to do with this. You know, it might be kind of interesting because I think it will mean that Producer Boom has to focus a little bit more on, you're going to be focusing very much around that shield, whereas beforehand he's been able to play a little bit more kind of independently, and the whole team hasn't been focused around like that, just that one guy. But since they're using Hajime sort of as this trap card, as you say, it's going to be a lot more having a little bit of an orbit around him and protecting him in this case. And if Nora-Rengo can start picking off the people who are around him to protect him, then maybe that could be somewhere where they can get the upper hand.
And If you want to be critical of QConfirm's lineup, I would retort and say, well, this Fink is actually bringing grenades, so that's a great counter to the Goyo shields and the deployable shield from the Wamai. And also, there are no counters from Nora-Rengo's lineup towards this Montaigne. The best thing you've got is a Goyo. But, you know, no smoke, no lesion, barely any barbed wire as well, just the 2 from Papilia. So Hajime has free reign. And if he plays as well as Lunametal did earlier tonight, you know, that Southeast Asian Montaigne play that we love to see, I can totally see QConfirm stealing this away from Nora-Rengo without even hitting overtime.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Well, they've managed to get the attic wall open, but
The attacker's bomb
still
diffuser has been dropped.
still chilling out downstairs now, slightly bigger. I love seeing Monty for fun. It's like his shield is so heavy. It's like, no, let's just throw this over my shoulder. I'm gonna run for it. Making a rotation around the upside now. So still changing the mind as to what angle it is they're going to be going for. I kind of like that angle that's being held there. Actually, that was
cheeky little angle they're playing on the balcony. You can, cause, I mean, if you're on the other side of that, right, you see a closed door and you think, I'm probably not going to get shot through there, right? But the way the balcony lines up, you can go prone, you can pretty much counter any position inside Trophy. Healthcare is going to use an Ash Charge on the floor, get rid of the mute jammer. Thank you, Medics, our lovely observer. Producer Boom finds the opening kill. He was holding that angle for about 2 minutes straight onto that window, but it paid off after all that. And so Sailboy does go down. Like Colas to find an entry as well. And now QConfirm are getting aggressive. Hajime here on the Monty, giving the information to his team. The Thinker Boost, the Adrenal Surge comes out. Hajime dodges that C4, barely a scratch from it. But now Nora-Rengo have the crossfire they need. There's a retake there. Like Colas gets in through Attic, and now he needs to play a big impact frag. There it is, and QConfirm out of nowhere explode onto the bomb site, steal Nora-Rengo's lunch money, and throw them into the mud.
Yeah, it turned out that Montaigne pick was really the trap card. I mean, you said it, that's the term that you used, and you were very, very much correct. They were able to make it work for themselves. In fact, I think that was the first time in that the entire series that we really saw that kind of master bedroom area be taken advantage of. And when you got a big guy with a shield who can pass off all of that information and you're going against only 2 C4s, all you have to do is bait that stuff out and suddenly your team can be as aggressive as they want to. And QConfirm managed to secure themselves the game, proving why they were one of, if not the most dominant team in Southeast Asia.
QC absolutely had Nora-Rengo's number by the end of that. And I think the best thing is you tried to mention it a couple times, but Medics flicked on to Producer Boom. He was standing on top of Small Tower, using that ACOG long angle all the way to Attic window. And you're thinking, why is he sitting there? He's not on drones. It's not helping the team. He's just sitting there. 2 minutes, he held that angle. And that was the opening frag because
he knew.
QConfirm clearly knew that Nora-Rengo were going to make an aggressive push out from that window early. Like that's 1 pick already from QConfirm. On the back of that, they move straight on in. I love to see it. QConfirm, well-deserved victory. The analysts are going to break that one down for you guys. Milosh, take it away.